Someday, in the not-so-distant future, it happens. The moment you realize you're ready for anything. Get a degree in emergency management from Jacksonville State University and be ready for where you're going.
This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, February the 16th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. And before I forget it, don't forget we have a Storm Alert tour coming up. We'll be at Tuscaloosa at Shelton State Community College this coming Thursday. The doors open around 5 or a little after, with the program starting around 6:30. Hope to see you there. And before I forget it, March 5th, mark your calendars. Storm Alert Extreme is coming to the springtime. We're going to be doing a spotter training, focusing primarily on basic spotter training at the Civic Center in Pelham, just off 31 and I-65 and 119 area by the Oak Mountain Amphitheater. So if you get a chance to come by for that. Surface map this morning showing that we have high pressure over the southeastern U.S., and that's going to keep the weather nice for us and make for a nice sunny day with temperatures warming to around 60 degrees for most locations. We're coming under a weak ridge aloft, but in the meantime, the big trough is moving on out, and that's taking all that winter weather mischief over New England and the northeastern U.S. Out of the area. Still pretty chilly along the Canadian border, though, with a number of spots right along that Canadian border in Minnesota and North Dakota in the minus numbers. But the area of real chill is a little bit smaller, as we see most of that blue that shows below freezing as being a little bit less. We are still below freezing in most locations across central Alabama this morning. A little bit chillier in the northeast and east central sections, where they dip down into the upper 20s. But for the most part, most everybody waking up to a chilly morning. Nice to see the radar completely free of echoes for a while at least, but that'll be changing. Now, they're not free of echoes up across the western Great Lakes area, where a number of winter storm watches, warnings, and advisories are in effect for that area. And over in New Mexico, some dry weather causing some high fire danger. QPF for the next 5 days, indicating that we should have on the order of about an inch to an inch and a half of precipitation. It's going to come in several different batches, and it's going to be kind of hard to pin down exactly when we'll be seeing this precipitation, because timing is always a factor, but we'll try to do the best we can. No thunderstorms are forecast. One of the benefits of the cold weather is no severe weather, and that's great. All right, the 06Z GFS model running, we'll supplement it a little bit with the European, but there's the surface map for today. High pressure settling in over the northeastern Gulf, and the cold air advancing to the northeast, indicated by the 540 thickness line there. We move on out into tomorrow, Monday. And we do see the one trough moving on out into the Atlantic, and we have another one which has a pretty good depth to it, coming in from the south central Canada area and coming into the western Great Lakes. That will be responsible for a pretty good area of snow across the western Great Lakes states there, Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, and Illinois, as we see a front trail down our area. But because the upper air pattern goes pretty zonal, we see that trough that was over the western Great Lakes on Monday. It's now just off of Boston, or just off the Cape Cod area on Tuesday, but we see another one right behind it. So it's a continuous parade of these things. And that second one, the first one, drags a front down into the area, but the front, because of the zonal flow aloft, is going to wash out, and we're going to lose any real push. So temperatures aren't going to change that much, and only just a small chance for some patchy rain. That second one moves through quickly on Wednesday, and you can see that it's got a fairly good depth to it, a good strength to it, as it moves into the northern Appalachians. And of course, high pressure settling in behind will bring some cooler air, so it looks like for the most part Wednesday we'll see a small chance for showers, with the frontal boundary lying across the area. Thursday I expect will be mostly dry, as we see the ridge pumping up a bit in response to yet another trough coming through the Dakotas area and down into Nebraska and Kansas and the Oklahoma Panhandle area. And then on Friday, that one moves out quickly. So you can see the flow is very, very fast. But now another one is digging into the northern and central Rockies, and that one's going to dig a lot deeper. And so we'll be watching low develop with that. In the meantime, the one that's moving out is dragging a front into the area on Friday, and that will bring us some chances for some rain. And then as that one that comes out of the northern Rockies on Friday and into Saturday, as it comes across the north central U.S., it's going to be having a much greater influence down our way. And so the bottom line is that we do expect to see that we'll have a pretty good storm system once again for the Great Lakes area with a surface low in the vicinity of Chicago. But that trailing front from the previous system giving us a lot of unsettled weather, and as well as the new front coming in. And the European is in pretty good agreement. We're going to back up a day here, and this is at 18Z on Friday. But the European in pretty good agreement. The European a little slower at moving out the rain on Sunday, but still they're in pretty good agreement that far out, so confidence fairly good. On Sunday, a week from today, we see that trough over the central U.S. has really deepened up quite a bit as we get these continuing little disturbances that are helping to amplify this trough, and as a result, and deepen that trough. And as a result, we see that the GFS is a little faster in moving out the rain, cold air coming in on Sunday, or colder air coming in on Sunday, and the European just a little slower. It's keeping the precipitation in on Sunday, not in the form of snow at this point, but of course we'll have to watch for that. But in typical fashion, it looks like the cold air arrives after the moisture has departed. Looking out into voodoo country, much like we saw yesterday, the GFS still maintaining kind of the same idea, and we have a pretty good trough with more or less the long wave trough position over the eastern half of the country, so that looks coolish for the end of February, and also, a bit, I wouldn't say stormy exactly, but unsettled would be a better term. And then when we get out to the end of the period, around the 3rd of March, we do see that the GFS is showing the development of a fairly significant trough over the western U.S., pumping that ridge up significantly over the eastern third of the country. So that would indicate some tremendous warming for much of the eastern third of the country, as well as the potential for maybe some severe weather threats as we get into the beginning of our spring severe weather season. Well, I'll do it for the Weather Extreme video for today. I hope that you have a great day. Enjoy this warm weather. James Spann should be back with the next edition first thing on Monday morning. In the meantime, have a great day and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.